basically what we got going on here today is a large number of protesters. First of all, were gathered on and walking on County Road 135 and County Road 81, kind of near that intersection, blocking the roadway. Definitely creates a concern. Law enforcement is not able to get through that area. We responded to the area. A large number of arrests came from that area. I believe around the 20 range, maybe even a little bit higher. In addition to that, a group of protesters, approximately 100 of them, came to this site where we are at right now. This is going to be site 118 and 119. The group of them proceeded to march on the easement to the east from Highway 6 towards site 118 and 119. Obviously, it's trespassing. They're on there. Large amount of equipment was vandalized, damaged, windows broken out. Not to mention that they're trespassing on land that they're not supposed to be on. In addition to that, several law enforcement vehicles had their tires slashed by these riders. So it's definitely concerning to us. Should be concerning to all citizens. Now, this highway here, Highway 6, has essentially been blocked by those protesters and rioters. Something that's very concerning to us, and we need to take the necessary steps to enforce the law.
How many arrests did you have here?
The exact number, I'm not aware of the arrests. I believe it's going to be close to 35 arrests.
At this site?
No, at this site it's going to be, I'm not exactly sure, but I believe it's around the 5 to 10 mark.
And you have one injury here from this gentleman behind us.
Yeah, it appears there's a gentleman that was arrested here, was complaining of pains, and the ambulance was summoned to this location, and it's transporting him rather shortly here.
Now, some of the demonstrators we talked to said, this is an overreaction. They're peaceably protesting. You've heard the argument, obviously. What do you say to that?
Well, you can't peaceably protest on somebody else's land, and you can't vandalize equipment. You can't slash law enforcement's tires. So to call this a peaceful protest is a slap in the face to everybody here.
You said there was approximately 5 people who were arrested here?
I do not know the exact numbers. I know it's a rather low number compared to the number of arrests that were at County Road 135 and County Road 81, where a large number were blocking the roadway. I know the numbers here is less.
Do you know here what they were arrested for?
I'm assuming, I guess I shouldn't be assuming, but it's going to be engaging in riot activities, probably criminal trespass.
And several cars, their tires were slashed?
Yep.
Has that happened before?
Yeah, I'm not aware of that happening at these events that we've been at, these riot activities, but I believe there's 5 to 6 law enforcement vehicle tires that had their tires slashed. So to come in and say that that's a peaceful act to do is absolutely a joke.
Were these coming from like a blade, a knife, or perhaps a puncture wound, like a screwdriver?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. We'll be looking into that. There's video, and there's actually a vehicle that we do have a suspect vehicle. So it'd be something that we'll definitely follow up on.
Now, the demonstrators say just over the past couple of months, there have been allegations that their civil rights have been violated, that their rights to peaceably assemble have been violated. What's your response to that? Obviously, you're walking a line. You're trying to allow them to express their First Amendment rights, but also protect the peace as well, right?
Yep, they've been allowed to peaceably assemble many times. In fact, up at the state capitol building, there's been many peaceful assemblies up there where they went through the proper permitting procedures, and even the main camp area where they're on right now, where they obtained a permit from the Army Corps of Engineers, we have no problem with them being there. But they can't decide where they just want to do impromptu protests when it's on private property. That doesn't make any sense. If somebody would want to protest on my property at my house, I would expect law enforcement to respond to the scene and take care of those people and get them off of my land. But to claim that that's peaceful also involves abiding by the law.
Now, was there any use of construction occurring at this site today?
As far as the amount of construction here, I believe there was construction occurring at this site. Now, this is an area where the pipeline has already gone through, and it's He was placed under arrest, and after waiting transport, he was complaining of pains. What those pains were and where exactly, I'm not sure. However, an ambulance was called to the scene to transport him away.
Were the tires here, or did the protesters bring tires that are right here? Were they part of a roadblock, or they've always been here?
You know what? I am not sure what those tires are there for. I'm assuming those were brought here by protesters, but I could be wrong. It maybe is a way for construction to get equipment over the roadway, so I don't know exactly. It might be for construction equipment.
Can you tell me
So
why?
you have a black VW with a dog in it? I do. All right, it's going to be towed if you don't get down there.
Can you tell me the decision? So you guys did not put a blockade on this one, right? On Highway 6.
No, the protesters caused it to be closed down.
To close Highway 6.
Yes.
So right now it's not closed right now.
It is open to local traffic only at this point, but this area here, when you have a large number of protester vehicles and protesters walking on the side of the road, and here it's for obvious safety reasons we have to take the steps to close the roadway.
So you guys didn't close it at that point. So I heard that they were
Yes,
in
correct.
the
Yep.
roadway. Okay.
Just to clarify, during the lineup of law enforcement and the moving of the protesters back, there was traffic backed up just right here, regular traffic, and they were letting traffic through. So was that a decision that was part of disbursement, or?
Well, once law enforcement gets on scene and they're taking those actions of moving the protesters back off the easement, unfortunately they don't listen to direction very well. So we had to, march them back towards the roadway to get out of the area. You can't be on this property. Law enforcement would be on scene and can direct those vehicles through to kind of clear the area to get some vehicles going and get them out of there. The law enforcement officer that would be directing traffic would have that responsibility.
Who owns that land?
This land right here is, I do not know who the exact owner is of it.
Tom, have you guys, law enforcement worked with tribal leaders or anybody at the camp to say, if you continue this, people are going to continually get arrested, and, just if you protested, like, not on, private land, that this wouldn't be happening, or, have you guys been continually working on that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's always talks with tribal leaders and representation amongst the protester group, but trying to convince somebody that breaking the law is bad seems to be rather difficult during these times. I don't know why it's that difficult for people to understand that you cannot block roadways, you can't form a blockade, you can't trespass on other people's land. That some people, not everybody, but some are just unable to understand that or unable to accept that. Now, it is a shame that this had to happen. Today is Veterans Day, and they're conducting these illegal activities, trespassing on people's land, vandalizing equipment on Veterans Day. Come on, that's a slap in the face to every veteran that's out there, and I hope that they think twice about their actions.
And how many arrests were there today, or just
There's going to be, as far as I'm aware, there's approximately 30 arrests at this point.
And so what do you say to the Native veterans who might have been here today taking part in this, that you say, you mentioned that you think this is a slap in the face. What do you say to Native veterans who may have been here today?
Well, first of all, I would like to thank them for their service. And I would, if there were any that committed any violations, trespassed or conducted any vandalism throughout their times here, I would encourage them not to do that again. That doesn't make any sense. And by them displaying those actions, that's a slap in the face to anybody, to the citizens of North Dakota. You cannot come in and break the law and think that people will turn their head and turn a blind eye to that. We need to hold people accountable. I mean, we have laws in North Dakota, and those laws are to be followed.